Welcome to the Women's National League Wrap for Series 11. I'm joined today with Catherine and Alanna. I'm just going to kick right off with Wexford and Peamount. Alanna, it was 3-3. I think everyone was expecting a great game of football, and like what a game it was, and such a massive game in terms of like table position, and with both teams just getting that 1 point. Was it kind of a fair result for both teams on the day, do you think?
Yeah, I'd say probably overall it probably was in the end, Emma, because like as you say, Shells are kind of running away with it there at the top at the minute. 7 points clear Wexford now, and 10 away from Peas. And like we were mentioning just before we started recording there, Athlon in the mix now too. So it's getting very interesting, but it's just funny because the way usually we talk about those three teams as the big three, but that's kind of been shattered to bits. But Peas himself have been on kind of a weird run, I think it is, before this game. They weren't really converting the goals, and I know they did in this one, and I'm sure they were happy to do so with that. And we're happy with the showcase too. Like everyone's saying, it was great advertisements for the Women's National League. Like overall, I'd say they kind of would have been happy enough. I know I was watching James O'Callaghan's interview afterwards, and he said he was content with the draw. So maybe that tells you that maybe it should have edged one way, but maybe not in the same way, because obviously Alan Malloy was on fire once again, her 50th appearance, as was Kylie. But I'd say, yeah, overall, probably a fair result, and the real winner is Shelburne, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't imagine watching the game as a Wexford fan or a Peamount fan, because like I'm a neutral, and I was watching the game and I was like, this is so intense. I don't know what's going to happen here. But yeah, you're right. Shells really were the main winners out of that game, I think. Catherine, DLR Waves, they made the trip to Tolka, hoping to replicate that 1-0 win against Shells, but at the end of the day, Shells came out with the 4-0 win. Like the first half, it was quite competitive. I thought DLR Waves really pressed them well. But second half, Shells kind of showed why they're champions, I guess. Like, what did you make of those two performances?
Yeah, I was at the game in Tolka Park, obviously. I'm supporting Waves at the moment from this half of the season anyway. And look, I thought it was a really good game. Waves would have been coming in with a bit of confidence, having been the only team to take 3 points off them and to get a goal against them as well. But obviously wary of all the threats that Shelburne have. As you said, the first half was really good. It was really tight. I thought Waves started really well. They came out of the blocks, working really hard, pressing. They had some good opportunities as well. I think they would have been the happier the two sides going in at half time. Eve made a brilliant save there just before the second half to kind of really keep them 0-0 before going in for the half time. But as you said there, obviously the champions had other plans, and 4-0 I think maybe was a little bit of a harsh scoreline maybe. I think Waves gave them a really good challenge, but the quality in the finishing for Shells really they just had the edge on the day. Two brilliant goals there within 5 minutes in the second half. I think it was difficult then after that to come back, but look, they kept trying. It was a brilliant match, and there's always a good battle between these two teams, so that it definitely succeeded with that.
Yeah, 100%. And I tell you, it's going to be interesting with those two teams meet again, as they both got a win. So yeah, we'll see. It was a 1-1 draw then between Galway and Bohemians. It's such a tight game, Alanna, considering like last time Galway got a 3-0 win against Bows and Dalymount. But Sinead Taylor got the goal for Bows, and I think she really kind of set that tempo for them. How good of a signing do you think she's been for Bows so far?
Yeah, I think she's been brilliant. In fairness, I think maybe Galway were kind of on top for large periods as that one, even if they weren't really on the scoreline. But fair play to Bows, they clung on to the draw, as you said. I know Taylor was very dangerous for them in the first half in particular, and even for that goal, you could just see she used her strength to kind of muscle off, and she done actually really well, I thought, to maintain her balance, to actually get a good strike on the ball, because she was kind of like, you could see maybe losing it a bit. But yeah, I'd say brilliant signing for them. Really one of their main attacking threats, bar I'd say their fullbacks, and just lethal from inside the area. So yeah, maybe if Bows could get someone to kind of play off for a bit more, I think it would have improved their goal output phenomenally. But Sinead's been brilliant for them. Yeah,
I 100% agree. Athlone, going back to Athlone, they got another win. This time it was Treaty. They beat them 4-1. It's their 6th win in a row, and they've so many players that contribute to that team and their league performance so far. Catherine, is there any kind of player on that team that stands out for you?
Yeah, I think the star player at the moment has to be Emily Corbett. I think her 10 goals, she's top of the goal scoring chart at the moment. And yeah, she's very clinical. She seems to be just very very comfortable out there. And I think their captain Laurie Ryan getting player of the month there in April, like she's a real leader. And she said in her interview that, it's a team full of leaders. And I actually think Emily is probably one of those players. I know she's maybe one of the younger players, but she's international experience. She's been involved with the under-19s and she's getting goals. And I think, she's doing really good. She's definitely someone that people are definitely paying attention to, and she's leading the way for the athlon girls. So it's really good to see, and be excited to see how she gets on. I think she's going to make her mark in the league for sure.
Yeah, and I mean the confidence is just soaring out athlon, and you can see it. I mean, like their defender Jessica Hennessy scoring an absolute rocket at the weekend. It just kind of proves that, Finally, Sligo, they got the win over Cork. It was a 2-0 win for them. That Emma Doherty and Gemma McGuinness partnership in particular has been like a joy to watch so far this season, for me anyway. And for Sligo to score with only 40 seconds on the clock kind of just shows their readiness to compete so far in all the games this season. Alanna, what have you made of Sligo's performance so far?
Definitely, and I think they've kind of just absolutely obliterated any expectations anyone had of them. I saw Kristen was tweeting there during the week, and she's right, like, because no one gave them a chance. As an unknown quantity, you wouldn't know how good they were going to be. So I think they've just absolutely proven that they are a force to be reckoned with. And even though they have that 3 points, the P's 3 points puts a bit of a nice shine on the tally and added extra shine. But it's important that they prove it in these kind of games, and they did just that at the weekend. So like if they're putting up to their Corks, their treaties, and then even like, because they gave DLR a challenge there recently too, and I know DLR won in the end, but it just shows they have a formula where they can play both kind of expect it on the back foot and then kind of go out and attack too, like you're saying, and get those early goals. But yeah, they don't seem to be tainted by anyone's predictions for them anyways, but they're all stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. And finally, before you go, I have to ask, if you can pick just one young player so far this season, Catherine, I'll start with you. Is there anyone that has impressed you so far?
Emily Corbett probably would be the standout so far. I think just the fact that she's top of the goal scoring chart there. But there's quite a lot of young players coming through now, and it is really good to see. There's a few exciting players. From Waves' point of view, Joy Ralph got on there in the second half, and she's just unbelievable. Even in training, like, she's so good, and she's so strong as well. And in the under 19 game, she's getting a lot of goals, and I think she's going to be someone to watch. She's definitely one to watch for the rest of the season as she's coming in more into the picture.
Yeah, brilliant. And Alanna, what about you?
I was actually going to say, well, Emily is up there too for me, and I think even Katie Malone, I think she's still quite young for DLR. I think she's been brilliant so far this year, but I'm going to go with Jessie Stapleton, I think, because 4 goals and she nearly had a 5th there at the weekend. She hit the crossbar, but like, she's just so adaptable. Like, it's electric. She went from playing like centre back, and now she's kind of moved up to like more of a 10 kind of thing. But yeah, she's kind of just an essential cog in that team, and I think she's been brilliant so far this season. Yeah,
I have to agree with all of those players. It's so hard to choose just one because there's so much talent in the league. But I really appreciate you joining me, guys, and I'll speak to you both very soon.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.